There are nights when we lie down, and the mind still refuses to rest. Worries, regrets, old hurts, and loneliness slowly rise to the surface, making the heart unable to find a place to settle. This video is a gentle space just for you. A soft journey into love, forgiveness, empathy, and inner peace. 4 doors that help your heart lighten, help sleep come naturally, and help the tired parts of you finally heal. As you listen, let your shoulders relax, close your eyes softly, and allow these words to sink into the places inside you that have been quietly hurting. And if something in this video touches you, leave a small like, share a warm comment, and subscribe to Buddha's Loving Words so we can continue walking together on this path of awakening and peace. The compassionate heart, the quiet strength of an awakened soul. There is a kind of strength that needs no muscles, no power, no fame. A strength that cannot be measured by money or status. Yet it can turn enemies into friends, dissolve anger, and bring silence to the world. That is the power of compassion. In this world, people often fear being seen as weak if they are gentle, forgiving, or silent. But the Buddha taught the opposite. True compassion is the highest form of wisdom. One who understands, forgives, and loves deeply has already walked far on the path of awakening. Because compassion is not just a feeling, it is the light that dispels ignorance, the power that helps us see life with equality and love. Long ago, when the Buddha lived in the city of Savatthi, there was a woman named Pattakara. She was once the wife of a wealthy family. Her life seemed complete, yet within a few short years she lost everything. Her husband, her 2 children, and her parents. In her despair, she went mad. She ran through the streets laughing and crying. When she met the Buddha, she fell at his feet and cried, "Lord, I have nothing left, only pain." The Buddha looked at her, not with judgment, not with pity, but with boundless compassion. He said, "Pattakara, the tears you have shed through countless lives are more than all the water in the oceans. But if you see the truth today, your suffering will end." Hearing this, her heart awakened. Her sorrow began to fade, and peace arose within her. She later became a nun and attained enlightenment. That story reminds us, compassion is the greatest healing power in life. It does not come from pity, but from deep understanding. When we truly understand our own pain and that of others, anger dissolves, and only love remains. To understand is to love. That is the essence of the Buddha's teaching. A compassionate heart sees no rich or poor, no high or low, no friend or stranger. The Buddha embraced both the killer Angulimala and the courtesan Ambapali, not to praise sin, but to awaken the seeds of goodness within them. When Angulimala, the murderer of 999 people, chased the Buddha with his sword, the Buddha turned and said calmly, "I stopped long ago, Angulimala. Only you are still running." That single sentence struck like lightning. The killer dropped his sword, knelt down, and wept. He became a saint. Compassion doesn't argue. It doesn't force. It quietly transforms the heart through presence and understanding. Forgiveness, too, is a form of compassion. It does not mean agreeing with what is wrong. It means freeing yourself from the weight of hatred. Many people hold on to anger as if holding a burning coal, hoping to throw it at someone else, but they are the ones who get burned. In the Buddha's teaching, forgiveness means dropping that burning coal. When you forgive, you give no favor to others. You simply set yourself free. The Buddha said, "Hatred never ends through hatred. Only love can end hatred." The fire of anger lives only in darkness. When the lamp of compassion is lit, all hatred disappears. Love is the medicine for every wound, not the blind love that clings, but the love that understands without demanding. The Buddha taught, only a loving hand can touch pain without making it deeper. Sometimes a single look of understanding, a kind word, is worth more than 1,000 sermons. We often try to fix others, forgetting that what they truly need is not correction but understanding. True love doesn't try to change people. It helps them see the good already within. To love like that, we must be gentle. A gentle heart is born of wisdom, not weakness. The gentle are not afraid. They have simply seen that anger only hurts themselves. One morning, a man shouted insults at the Buddha for hours. The Buddha sat silently, calm and peaceful. When the man finally stopped, the Buddha asked, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does it belong?" The man replied, "To the giver." The Buddha smiled. "Just so. I do not accept your words. They still belong to you." Gentleness is not submission. It is the strength of one who has mastered the self. When the mind is restless, we want to fight and prove. When the mind is still, we simply want to understand and love. That is the quiet power of compassion, the power that turns violence into kindness and hatred into understanding. Today, so much suffering comes because people no longer look at each other with compassionate eyes. A harsh comment online, a careless word in the family, a selfish act, all arise from a lack of understanding and love. If everyone could pause, take a single deep breath, and ask, what is this person suffering from? The world would already be more peaceful. Compassion is not only for monks or saints, it is for all of us. A sincere apology, a gentle act, a kind touch. These are all expressions of compassion. When we practice them every day, our compassion grows, spreading warmth through the heart. Those with compassionate hearts are no longer caught in the battles of gain and loss. They still live and work in the world, but their minds are free. They understand that everyone is walking their own path of learning to love. Some are just beginning, some are still lost, but all are finding their way home, to the heart that knows how to love. When we live with compassion, we save others, and we save ourselves. Because in the moment we love, we cannot hate. In the moment we understand, we cannot suffer. Compassion is the miracle medicine that heals the whole world, beginning with one heart that knows how to listen. And when that heart truly opens, we realize we don't need to do anything grand to change the world. Just cause no more harm. Be a little kinder than yesterday. Keep the heart gentle. That alone is planting a Buddha seed in this world. True strength is not in making others bow before you, but in bowing before the pain of all beings and smiling. That is the heart of compassion, the source of all inner strength and the shortest path to peace and awakening. The courage to love and forgive, the doorway to freedom from the past. There are wounds in life that still hurt even after many years have passed. There are memories we think we have forgotten, yet they quietly burn inside us like a hidden flame. These wounds do more than cause pain. They make us close our hearts, fearful, unable to love again. The Buddha taught, no one can truly be at peace if the heart still holds resentment. That is why forgiveness is not an easy act, but it is the first step toward inner freedom. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha said, victory breeds hatred. The defeated live in pain, but the one who lets go of victory and defeat lives in peace. This means we only escape suffering when we release our need to be right, to win, to cling to the past. Forgiveness is not losing. It is simply ending the war inside ourselves. Long ago in Savatthi, there was a woman named Kisa Gotami. She lost her only son. Her grief was so deep that she carried his body everywhere, begging for someone to save him. People said she had gone mad. When she met the Buddha, she cried, "Lord, please bring my child back." The Buddha gently told her, "Bring me a handful of mustard seeds from a house where no one has ever died." She searched from house to house, but every family had lost someone. At last she collapsed in tears. She understood. Death touches every home, and her pain was not hers alone. The Buddha did not perform a miracle to revive the child. Instead, he revived her heart with compassion and wisdom. When she accepted the truth, her suffering dissolved. This was forgiveness for life itself, the letting go of what cannot be held. We have all been hurt, by those we loved, by those we trusted. After betrayal, after misunderstanding, after loss, we build walls around our hearts and call them protection. But those walls only imprison us. Forgiveness, whether toward others or ourselves, is the act of breaking those walls and stepping into freedom. One day, the Buddha accepted his final meal from a man named Kunda. When Kunda learned the Buddha passed away soon after, he panicked. He blamed himself, wept endlessly, and almost went insane from guilt. But before passing, the Buddha told Ananda, "Tell Kunda not to blame himself. Offering the Buddha's last meal is as meritorious as offering his first meal after enlightenment. Comfort him with compassion. This is forgiveness through wisdom, transforming guilt into merit and blessing." The Buddha saw that the heart behind an action matters more than the outcome. Likewise, in our lives, others may wound us, but no one can make us suffer forever unless we hold on. When we refuse to forgive, we clutch a burning coal, hoping to throw it at someone else. But we are the ones burned. One day, a young monk complained, "Lord, someone insulted me terribly. I tried to endure it, but anger still burns in me." The Buddha smiled. "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does it belong?" The monk answered, "To the giver." "So it is," the Buddha said. "If you do not accept their anger, it remains with them, not you." Forgiveness is freedom. Freedom from being controlled by someone else's ignorance. And forgiveness is not only outward, it must also turn inward. Many can forgive others but cannot forgive themselves for past mistakes, wrong choices, or an old version of who they used to be. But if we cannot forgive ourselves, we stay trapped at the same crossroads, unable to move forward. The Buddha taught, like a lotus leaf where water cannot cling, one with wisdom does not cling to past mistakes. To forgive yourself is to see your past as a lesson, not a life sentence. Everything is impermanent, even pain. Nothing lasts unless we keep feeding it with memory and resentment. Let go of the old story, and the suffering dissolves like smoke. Someone once asked the Buddha, "Lord, how can we love again when the heart has been shattered?" The Buddha replied, "Love like the sun, shining even on the places that were once in darkness." This is the courage to love again, not because the other person deserves it, but because you deserve peace. A heart that has expanded does not fear being broken. It knows every wound is a doorway to growth. After the Buddha attained enlightenment, he returned to visit his father, King Suddhodana. The king had once been angry that his son abandoned the throne. But when he saw the Buddha's serenity, he wept. His anger melted like mist, because the presence of true love can dissolve even the deepest distance. Forgiveness is not a single act, it is a process. Each time the old memory rises, we release it a little more. Each release makes us lighter, and each lightness makes us more free. When compassion is present, forgiveness becomes natural. You no longer force yourself to forget. You simply see clearly that those who hurt you were hurting inside. They acted out of ignorance, and if we respond with anger, we fall into ignorance as well. To see this truth is to become peaceful. The Buddha never demanded perfection. He taught us to recognize anger without obeying it. When we look at our pain and say, "I understand you, I will not suffer anymore," forgiveness begins. And as forgiveness unfolds, the heart opens again, slowly, gently, like a young leaf after the storm. Courage is not standing unshaken in the wind. Courage is daring to love again after falling down. Ajahn Chah was once asked, "Is there anyone who doesn't deserve forgiveness?" He smiled and said, "Yes, when we forget that they are human." Forgiveness is seeing the human behind the mistake. Loving again is seeing the Buddha nature behind the hurt. When you have the courage to love again, you become truly free. No longer chained to the past, no longer ruled by old memories. Then you understand the Buddha's words. One who releases hatred sleeps well. One who lets go of the past lives in peace. Letting go is not forgetting. It is looking back with gratitude, knowing the pain shaped your wisdom. When you can look at someone who once hurt you and gently say, "Thank you. Because of you, I learned compassion." That is true victory. The greatest victory in life is not defeating others. It is defeating the hatred within yourself. And the one who does this is the one walking in the freedom of forgiveness and the light of love. The light of empathy, the bridge that connects one heart to another. There is a kind of light that does not come from the sun. and needs no fire or lamp to shine. It arises from deep within the human heart, the light of empathy. When we truly understand someone else's suffering, we no longer want to judge, no longer want to argue, no longer want to win. This light lets us see life with the eyes of love and see people with the heart of the Buddha. During the Buddha's time, there is a touching story about the power of empathy. One day, he and his monks walked past a field. They saw a farmer shouting angrily, whipping his ox because it refused to pull the plow. The monks were upset. Some whispered, "This man is cruel. He must have done evil in his past life." But the Buddha simply looked at the farmer and said softly, "He is suffering." No blame, no judgment, just one sentence, filled with understanding. The farmer heard it and froze. He dropped the whip and began to cry. "Yes, I am suffering. I work all my life and still go hungry. If this ox dies, my child will starve. I am not angry at the ox. I am angry at my fate." The Buddha walked closer and placed a hand on his shoulder. When you understand your own suffering, you will stop pouring it onto others. From that day on, the farmer became a devoted follower. This is the power of empathy. No long speech, no force, just seeing deeply. Empathy means seeing the pain behind the behavior. If someone is angry, they are afraid. If someone is selfish, they are empty inside. And once we understand that, anger has no place to grow. The Buddha taught, when the mind does not understand, delusion arises. When the mind understands, compassion arises. Every moment of suffering comes from not understanding. Empathy is the doorway to wisdom. In the Metta Sutta, the Buddha instructed his disciples to send loving kindness to all beings. Just as a mother protects her only child with her life, so should one spread loving kindness to all beings. Empathy is the root of this loving kindness, because we cannot love deeply without first understanding deeply. One day, Ananda asked the Buddha, "Is the greatest love the love we have for our parents?" The Buddha replied, "The greatest love is seeing every being as if they were once your parent." These words widen the heart. When you look at a stranger and think, "Perhaps in another life this person cared for me," your heart naturally softens. This is empathy beyond the ego, a love without boundaries. Just as a lotus blooms out of muddy water, empathy blooms out of our own suffering. Only those who have suffered can truly understand the suffering of others. That is why people who have lived through loss often speak gently, walk softly, and judge slowly. They know every person carries wounds that cannot be seen. In the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha compared an empathetic heart to clear water. If someone throws dirt into it, the dirt settles and the water remains clear. When we have empathy, insults do not disturb us. Cruel actions do not poison us, because we see the truth. The person who harms us is drowning in their own suffering. Empathy does not mean approval. It means understanding without hatred and acting with wisdom, not anger. The Buddha never taught us to tolerate wrongdoing blindly. He taught us to respond with understanding, not with rage. There was a time when the Buddha said, "If someone beats you with a stick, have compassion. They are driven by ignorance." This is the freedom of a wise mind. Someone with deep empathy cannot be harmed by insults, because they know the attacker is a victim of their own pain. And no story shows this more than that of Angulimala. The killer chased the Buddha, shouting, "Stop, monk!" The Buddha turned and said, "I stopped long ago. Only you are still running." That one sentence awakened him. He dropped his sword, fell to the ground, and sought refuge. The Buddha did not punish him. He simply saw him deeply, and that vision saved not only Angulimala's life, but countless others. Empathy saves others, and it saves us. When we understand why someone behaves a certain way, we stop suffering because of them. When we understand that everyone is struggling in their own way, we automatically become gentler, softer, more patient. And when we see clearly that every being is trying to avoid suffering and find happiness, we begin to love instead of judge. The Buddha said, "If one sees with wisdom, there is no separation between oneself and others." Empathy is this bridge. the bridge that joins two lonely hearts. When we truly understand there is no self and other, in that moment, the person in front of us is simply another form of us. One day, the monk Sariputta was walking on alms round. A drunk man threw a stone and cut his head. Blood flowed, yet Sariputta simply wiped it and walked on peacefully. Villagers rushed to punish the drunk man, but Sariputta stopped them. "Do not harm him. He does not know what he is doing." That single act of empathy woke the drunk man up. He sobered instantly, fell to his knees, and repented. A single stone cannot hurt a mind full of empathy, but empathy can awaken the goodness in another person. Today, amid noise, anger, and quick judgment, empathy has become rare. We accuse before we understand. We say, "I'm right," before asking, "Why is this person hurting?" But every difficult person is an opportunity to practice. Empathy is not theory. It is a daily practice in every word, every look, every choice. When we slow down a little, listen a little deeper, judge a little less, we water the seed of empathy within us. Like a small lamp, its light spreads naturally. One person who understands helps 10 people suffer less. 10 who understand can soften an entire community. If there is a place where no hatred exists, it must be a place lit by empathy. And when empathy grows, kindness blossoms. In every small act, a soft reply, a patient silence, a gentle gesture, kindness appears. And where kindness blooms, suffering quietly fades. When we live with the light of empathy, the world around us slowly begins to change. Empathy is the soil from which kindness grows, and kindness is the flower of empathy fully awakened. When both are present in the heart, the whole world becomes a little softer. Because when we see with compassion, speak with compassion, and act with compassion, we help others breathe easier, and we illuminate our own inner world. The ocean of love, where the heart finds peace and rest. There is something wider than the sky, deeper than the ocean, and quieter than the wind that just passed. It is true love. Not the kind of love filled with conditions and expectations, but a love with no boundaries, no ownership, no calculation. This love is the source of all peace, the destination of every search, the place every soul longs to return to after countless falls, losses, and moments of being lost. The Buddha realized this on the night of his awakening under the Bodhi tree. He looked deeply into the world and saw that all suffering arises from hearts that do not know how to love. Because without love, we cling. Without understanding, we create hatred. Without compassion, we hurt one another. Only when love is awakened does the world inside us become truly peaceful. In the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha compared compassion to the ocean, vast, calm, embracing every river that flows into it. The ocean does not reject the muddy river, nor does it turn away a single drop of water. It simply opens its arms, and in its embrace, everything becomes clear. The love of an awakened being is just like that, without judgment, without choosing, without dividing people into worthy and unworthy. Whoever comes, the Buddha welcomes with loving eyes. Whoever leaves, he sends off with a peaceful smile. One person asked the Buddha, "Lord, do you ever get angry at anyone?" He smiled and replied, "How could I be angry when I understand they are suffering?" This is the highest form of love, a love that sees the truth of suffering and therefore can no longer be shaken by it. Love as vast as the ocean does not only embrace, it heals. Just as cool water cleanses dust and dirt, love cleanses the wounds hidden inside the heart. When we love truly, every scar softens, every anger dissolves, every fear quietly disappears. For where love exists, hatred has no home. There was a monk named Punna who asked to spread the Dharma in Sunaparanta, a land known for violence and hostility. The Buddha warned him, "The people there are harsh. They may insult you, beat you, or even kill you. Are you not afraid?" Punna bowed and smiled. "If they insult me, I will think they are still kind, because they have not hit me. If they hit me, I will think they are still good, because they have not killed me. And if they kill me, I will know my vow is fulfilled." For to die with a loving heart is the most peaceful death. Hearing this, the Buddha said, "You truly carry within you the great ocean of love." This story shows, love does not make us weak, it makes us unbreakable. A heart full of love is not afraid of being hurt, because it no longer sees a separate self to protect or a separate other to blame. Love needs no performance, no grand gestures. It reveals itself in the smallest acts: a warm look, a gentle word, a quiet act of help. Each one is a small wave in the great ocean of love. If each of us could offer just one moment of love, the world would already be far less painful. The Buddha said, "Just as all footprints fit within the footprint of an elephant, all virtues fit within the virtue of loving kindness." Every good deed, every wholesome act, every path to liberation leads to this one place, a heart of unconditional love. But to love in this way, we must learn to see with wisdom. Love without wisdom becomes attachment. Wisdom without love becomes cold and distant. The Buddha taught, compassion is the expression of wisdom. Wisdom is the foundation of compassion. Like two wings of a bird, only when both rise together can we fly into freedom. When we love with wisdom, we do not cling. We do not demand. We do not try to hold people still in a world that is always changing. We love because we understand the nature of impermanence. We love even when things come and go like waves on the shore. And still, we remain open, steady, and free. One day, Ananda asked the Buddha, "How do we know someone truly has compassion?" The Buddha replied, "Look at how they treat those who can offer them nothing." A simple truth, but the perfect test of genuine love. For the one who loves unconditionally does not calculate, does not wait, does not need proof. Such love is like the ocean, still embracing the shore even when the shore is covered in dust. And when we live with this vast love, our hearts become like the sea, not shaken by waves, not clouded by storms, not frightened by rising or falling tides. The heart becomes still, vast and powerful, capable of transforming anything. When we love, forgive, and understand, every sorrow dissolves like salt in water. This is the dissolving of the ego, the moment we realize we are not separate from the world. We are the wind, the tree, the river, the sad eyes of another person. And we understand, there is no one left to hate, only beings who are learning to love. In that moment, love becomes the path, not just a feeling, but the road that leads to awakening. The Buddha spent his entire life traveling from place to place for one purpose: to plant a single seed. Love each other more. Because he knew, when love arises, suffering ends. And perhaps, after everything, the purpose of meditation, of chanting, of practicing the Dharma is simply this: to return the heart to the ocean of love. When the heart becomes like the sea, nothing can disturb it. We can live in the world and still walk freely. We can stand in noise and still be at peace. That is true freedom, the freedom of one who knows how to love. Thank you for staying until the end of this journey. I hope these gentle teachings brought a little more peace to your mind and gave your heart a quiet place to rest. If something in this video touched you, leave a small comment, tap the like button, and subscribe to Buddha's Loving Words so you can return to a moment of peace whenever you need it. Wishing you a deep, healing night. May you be at ease. Homage to the Buddha, the awakened teacher.
From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for supporting Buddha's Loving Words. May the teachings of the Buddha continue to touch every heart, bringing peace and happiness.